we finally had the highly anticipated matchup of Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal. I was so excited for this fight like everybody else. I had goosebumps. I couldn't make it out to my local arena, the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. Can't even catch my breath right now. But I was pumped up to watch this on pay-per-view. And this lived up to the hype, but it went down very differently from what we expected. Fred Richani, TSC, your home for sports news updates, interviews, and everything in between. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Here's what went down in the main event, because that's what people care about. We had Jorge Masvidal absolutely massacre Nate Diaz in round number 1, batter him in round number 2. Round number 3, continue to bloody him. He just looked more powerful. But here's the thing. Nate Diaz is a tough MFer. This is for the baddest mother effer belt. They actually spent 50 G's to make this belt, and The Rock actually came out to introduce the belt and present it. So what could go wrong? Nate Diaz survived a beating that would have put any man away in the first round through 3 rounds. And look, he was on the ground. He was doing Stockton slaps. He was doing up kicks. He was trying to take him down. He did hit Jorge with a few shots, but the power difference was very real, at least to this MMA fan right here. But 4th round comes. Nate Diaz had not 1, but 2 really bad cuts on his eye. Now, granted, they were not cuts that would normally cause a fight to be stopped in MMA. Boxing fans may be like, well, of course they'll stop the fight. It's, due to cuts, whatever. In MMA, I mean, we've seen some pretty bad cuts. I mean, hell, Mark Hominick, granted in another country, once fought Jose Aldo with a hematoma the size of a freaking apple coming out of his damn head. So, needless to say, for better or worse, MMA tends to have different standards for cuts. But the New York Athletic Commission, I guess they, hey, New York State already got its money, right? Stopped the damn fight. They stopped the damn fight. And Jorge Masvidal, by hook or by crook, is your BMF world champion. Crowd was booing. I kind of felt bad for Masvidal because this was his breakout performance after all these years hustling, bustling, being a dangerous veteran. I wouldn't call him a journeyman. He was a dangerous veteran. He was always a guy that you had to take seriously. But there were times in fights, particularly in the Gilbert Melendez fight he had years ago for the Strikeforce title, where it just felt like mentally something was off when the going got tough. Maybe he didn't put his foot on the gas, something checked out, whatever. It's not to say he didn't put in the work, but something checked out. And in recent years, from the Till fight to the Askren fight to the performance he put on for these 3 rounds, I mean, something has changed in Street Jesus, and he has not only made himself into a superstar, but a guy that is a true force to be reckoned with in the UFC title picture. And it's a damn shame that this fight was stopped. I don't think it should have been stopped. Most people don't think it should have been stopped. And Jorge Masvidal said, hey guys, let's run it back. You showed me love, Nate. You put me on the map with this fight. Let's do it again. Run it back. Nate Diaz afterwards said, I want to fight you again, MFer. And Joe Rogan even said outright on the broadcast, on the live mic in front of the arena, let's do it again in Vegas. So as much as I love my home away from home, New York City, I got to say, the Athletic Commission needs to get its crap together. Okay, I get it. You want to err on the side of caution. Err on the side of safety. Make sure everything's all freaking good. But damn, man. I mean, seriously? In the BMF fight? In the most hyped UFC fight of the year? Come on! Oh, my God. But while it lasted, even though it was one-sided, it lived up to the hype. On the live stream, David Moreno was asking me, did Diaz say anything about the doctor at the end when Joe talked to him? He essentially said he's no doctor. I mean, he told the doctor he could still fight. And, it is what it is. He thought the cut wasn't that bad, and he was ready to go. I mean, rounds 4 and 5 were tailor-made for Nate Diaz. The guy has incredible endurance, much like his brother. They're known for being durable fighters. Oh, man. All right, let's move on to the co-main event before I totally lose my lid here if I haven't already. Darren Till had a boring fight, but an impressive performance, moving up to middleweight, defeating Kelvin Gastelum via split decision. Kelvin Gastelum somehow, some way, despite losing pretty much every round or almost every round, got a 30-27. Again, New York State Athletic Commission, get your crap together. That was one of the worst scorecards ever. I know there's been some bad decisions in scorecards of UFC history. I mean, the first Shogun Hua and Machida fight was pretty bad. I mean, there's been some other ones over the years. I think it was like Evan Dunham and Sean Sherk back in the day. There's been some bad scorecards in MMA, okay? But 30-27 for Kelvin Gastelum, just unbelievable. If you haven't watched this fight, don't bother watching it. The fight sucked, and the scoring sucked even more. Luckily, the right guy won. Or actually, you know what? It was close at times, but no way 30-27. No freaking way 30-27 for Kelvin Gastelum. Wonderboy Thompson had an awesome fight, an incredible performance against Vicente Luque via unanimous decision, 30-26, 30-26, 29-27. Fantastic fight. Luque, much like Nate Diaz in the main event, showed incredible toughness and durability, hung in there, threw some shots, but there was just a difference in the precision. There's just a difference in the power, and Thompson got the job done. One of his best performances in the UFC without getting a finish. I mean, another man would have been finished, but Luque, he stood in there, he held on, but hot damn, that was a rough going for him. Derek Lewis, a.k.a. My Balls is Hot, defeated Blagoy Ivanov via split decision, 30-27, 29-28, 29-28. This was a fight that could have really gone either way. Great fight. Both guys also ridiculously durable. Derek Lewis's cardio noticeably significantly better in this fight than in past fights, so he's clearly been getting himself in better shape. And after the fight, he put over Blagoy Ivanov, a guy who once survived being stabbed in the freaking heart. He called out Donald Trump, said, hey man, there's a lot going on in the White House. You better fix it in 2020. He talked about something raw and Blagoy Ivanov's booty hole. I don't know. I didn't fully understand what Derek Lewis is saying, but all I gotta say is Derek Lewis needs to be protected at all costs, and he needs to have a job for life in the UFC. I'll leave it at that. Kevin freaking Lee, who's been down on his luck lately, always been a tough opponent, but lost some big fights, destroyed Gregor Gillespie with a vicious head kick knockout in round number 1. I mean, this was, oh my goodness, this was like full coffin. I mean, head kick, Gregor Gillespie's dead. It was just nuts, just totally out. Hit him with another shot that didn't need to be hit. My God, this was a statement by Kevin Lee. This also was a statement for UFC doctors because it looked like Kevin Lee had another staph infection, similar to the Tony Ferguson fight. Not as protruding and disgusting as that fight, but still, this dude needs to get it taken care of because that looked disgusting. Put a Band-Aid or something on it. Seriously, it's gross, and I'm pretty sure it's a health hazard. That being said, got to be knockout of the night for Kevin Lee. The prelims absolutely delivered. I know I've been skipping a lot of the prelims lately just because, there's only so many fights you can watch, but my God, there were some great prelims here. So I didn't catch some of the early prelims. I watched, actually I did catch most of them. I missed Hakeem Dawodu defeating Julio Arce via split decision in the featherweight division. That I missed, but I did see Lyman Good, the inaugural Bellator welterweight champion, knock out Chance Rencounter in round number 3. Chance took some heavy shots. Lyman Good, I thought he was going to gas himself out, but kept going, and he finished off Chance. Not Chance the Rapper. Caitlin Chukagian, she defeated Jennifer Maia via unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. This was a catchweight bout at 127 pounds because Maia missed weight again. She's got to get her ish together there. Jorenzo Rosenstrike defeated Andre Arlovsky via vicious knockout punch, just 29 seconds in round number 1. That dude's young, he's hungry, he's undefeated, and he is a force to be reckoned with. Edmund Sabazian defeated Brad Tavares. This is a reoccurring theme. Via knockout. Vicious head kick round number 1. And if you know anything about Tavares, the longtime UFC veteran, he is a tough man to finish. So Jesus Christmas, that was brutal. Shane Burgos defeated Makwan Amirkhani via TKO in round number 3. Some brutal punches. Amirkhani was just hanging in there, and then just finally just could not take any more in round number 3. Burgos looked great. He is definitely a problem in the featherweight division. And then one of the craziest results of the night in the light heavyweight division, Corey Anderson absolutely demolished the Johnny Walker hype train. And I ain't talking about the whiskey. TKO, round number 1, vicious punches. I mean, my God. He was brutalizing the man. And after the fight, Corey Anderson, who's normally very reserved, very chill, a guy who's pretty well known here in the New Jersey fight scene, went crazy. He was dancing. He was shushing the corner, shushing the crowd, dancing some more, saying F this, F that. Whew. Talking about wanting a title shot. I mean, this dude is just... He came out tonight. He showed out tonight. Much respect to Corey Anderson, although he did apologize later for his antics. And I didn't think he needed to apologize, but that was very classy because that was also really uncharacteristic. But if you're Corey Anderson, a guy who's a veteran, somebody that's perceived as more of a gatekeeper as opposed to a contender, you're being overlooked for Johnny Walker, who's had 3 fights in the UFC, 3 finishes, but all in the first round within a couple of minutes, couple seconds at times. Yeah, you're going to be pretty damn pissed off. So I'm glad that he got this win. I'm glad that he showed out. And look, Johnny Walker, he's only 26, 27 years old. He'll be back. But if you're a rising star, if you're somebody being talked about fighting John Jones, these are the fights you got to win. John Jones, before he was kicking dudes left and right, had to beat Matt Yushchenko. You know, he had to beat Matt Hamill, even though he technically lost that Matt Hamill fight. I mean, you know, he destroyed Matt Hamill. You know, he had to beat Ryan Bader. He had to beat people on the way up, even though his rise was pretty quick, before he got that title shot against Shogun Rua. Daniel Cormier had to beat guys on his way up. Junior Dos Santos, Cain Velasquez. Okay? Not everybody's going to be Brock Lesnar or another phenom that just kind of comes in and knocks out a bunch of dudes and then bam, you got a title shot or dominates or is a big star. I mean, it takes time. Conor McGregor worked his way up. Before he got to the title fight, he had to beat guys like Diego Brandao, Dennis Seaver. It takes time. These are the showcase fights you got to win. And, well, back to the drawing board for Johnny frickin' Walker. Whew. So, overall, from top to bottom, this was an absolutely fan-frickin'-tastic pay-per-view. Again, very disappointed in the main event, but just great stuff overall. Just great stuff overall. Okay, Dukes of Hazzard says, put some duct tape, super glue, and let them bang. For a BMF belt, why would they stop it regardless? Dude, I totally agree with you, and thank you so much for the super chat. Shout out to you, Dukes of Hazzard. No relation to the TV show here, but as far as what to look forward to down the road besides an eventual title fight, or I guess rematch title fight, with Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal. I'm assuming they'll put the belt on the line again, especially because UFC said they're now on sale. We have Zabit taking on Calvin Kattar on the ESPN Plus card on November 9th. This is taking place in Moscow, Russia. Also, Alexander Volkov is taking on Greg Hardy. Why? Oh, I don't know. I don't care. Wait, is that actually happening? Is Greg Hardy actually fighting him? I guess he is. I don't know. I don't care. This is a show most people aren't watching. Let's keep it real. There might be some sleeper fights, but I don't know. Then from there, we have UFC Sao Paulo. Jan Blachowicz taking on, or Blachowicz, I always butcher his name. Jan B. taking on Jacare. This could be do or die for Jacare. Also, Charles Oliveira taking on Jared Gordon. That's taking place November 16th in Sao Paulo. We also have UFC on ESPN December 7th. And right now, we have Cynthia Calvillo against Marina Rodriguez. And we have Alistair Overeem, who's set to be in action. So we'll see what happens. He was supposed to fight Walt Harris, but unfortunately, Harris is dealing with a real-life tragedy right now, which is the fact that his daughter has been missing. And to the best of my knowledge, she has not been found, and that's some heavy stuff right there. So prayers and best wishes to Walt Harris. This is definitely bigger than MMA. May she be found safe and sound. And no easy transition from that, but December 14th is the next big fight, which is the UFC pay-per-view, UFC 245, headlined by Kamaru Usman against Colby Covington, Max Holloway against Alexander Volkanovski, Amanda Nunes against Jermaine Durandamy. Yes, all three are title fights. I have no idea why Usman and Covington's headlining when, let's keep it real, nobody cares. I like Usman. I don't like Colby, but I respect his ability. Nobody cares about these guys. Nobody cares about these guys. You can make the strong argument that Max Holloway is a bigger star than both of these guys combined. I know Covington's got the MAGA Twitter crowd and everything else, but that hasn't been reflected in the pay-per-views. That hasn't been reflected in tickets. That hasn't been reflected in ratings. Frankly, that hasn't even been reflected in social media numbers. So why Amanda Nunes, the greatest women's MMA fighter of all time, or Max Holloway isn't getting the top billing, I don't freaking know. But that fight is coming up. Those fights are coming up December 14th. I guess Dana White's, desperate to prop his boy. Whatever the case may be, it's going to be an exciting finish for UFC in 2019. Massive thumbs up. But folks, I'm going to get on out of here because the Canelo fight is on. Canelo, Kovalev, that fight's on. I got a bunch of people at my house. Somebody's just banging at my door saying, yo, man, we got to watch this fight. So I'm going to watch this fight. And in just a little while, I'm going to be recapping that fight from top to bottom. But if you enjoyed this UFC update, like, share, take care. Don't forget to subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to spread the good word. And until next time, as always, enjoy the fights. Whew. Doctor, what the hell, man? Get yours together.